أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. During the last four videos, we were discussing about the ayah Alam Najal Arda Mehadu. This was the fifth ayah of Surah 78 Annaba, and now we keep that, discontinue that one. Of course, there are still many signs of Allah in earth. If we continue our study, we will find many signs of Allah and the blessings of Allah and the wisdom of Allah in the creation of earth. But we stop it here, as already we have devoted 4 videos on this subject. Now we want to move ahead. This earth will again come in Quran in several times. Then every time we may mention about some new blessing of Allah. So therefore we discontinue that explanation here and move forward to the next ayah. And that next ayah is Wal Jibal Awtada. Here it is Wal Jibal Awtada, but there is a series of more ayah which are all connected with the word Alam Najal. So here, as a matter of fact, Alam Najal means have we not made. Alam Najal al Arda in the beginning was about the earth. Now it is Alam Najal Jibal Awtada. So Alam Najal is not mentioned here, but it is a continuation of this. In the meaning, we can say, have we not made these mountains as some strong like iron bolts to fix the mountains. So this meaning is there, but it is in the form of a question. The question that have we not made this? Have we not made earth? Now it is, have we not made mountain? Mountains are already a part of the earth. When Allah says, you found out the blessings and wisdom of Allah in the creation of earth, the mountains are also included. But Allah is mentioning them again separately, that in addition to all the blessings of the earth, mountains have some special blessings, and you consider this question that has Allah not made it, how Allah has made it, why Allah has made it, what are the benefits to mankind, what are the benefits for the human life, in what way the mountains are serving mankind. If you see all these blessings of Allah, then our iman will naturally increase in the wisdom and in the power and of the Almighty. So from this point of view, now we proceed to see these blessings which Allah has provided in the creation of mountains. But before proceeding further, I want to make 2 corrections. During the last 4 videos, I was telling that verse Alam Najal Arda Mehadu, as it is the 12th verse number 12, but it is not. The correct thing is that it is the 5th verse number 5. And now this verse about Jibal, this verse about mountain. It is verse number 6. So this is one correction. Another correction is that in previous video I told while explaining the verse ثم استوى إلى السماء فهي دخان. In this verse Allah says that He turned His attention to heavens and it was already Dukhan. To explain in Dukhan what is Dukhan, but whatever I explained, I told there was one mistake. I told it was made 20 minutes after the creation of universe. So that was a wrong statement. It was not after 20 minutes. It was just after 30 seconds. Much more fast than what I had told earlier. Because that Allah created Earth 13.8 years ago, and the Earth and Sun was created only 4.5 billion years ago. There was a difference of 7 billion years between the creation of Earth and Sun, and at the same time, and the creation of entire universe. There's a long difference of 7 billion years between the creation of universe and the creation of Earth and Sun. So therefore, when Allah created Earth and Sun, there was Dukhan. Dukhan was already there. Dukhan means a smoke. And Sheikh Maududi has also translated it into this smoke in the scientific word nebulae. So this nebula is scientific word. This nebula is scientific atom which we call Dukhan, which is a kind of a smoke. In our blue sky is still a Dukhan. Even now today, this our sky on our head, that is also in the form of a smoke. All that smoke had very light and all gathered up stores. And then also Allah says that we have made the sky بغير أمد ترونها, without pillars which you cannot see. There are no pillar, and Allah has made such a vast sky. So He has done it by His wisdom to make the smoke Dukhan nebula very, 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 very light. Since it is extremely light, so it goes up and up and up to the extreme of position. That is how we have got our blue sky. So this Dukhan already God has made soon, 3 seconds after the creation of this universe. But Earth and when Allah give order to this Dukhan that you produce Earth and Sun and other planets and galaxies, and all of them produce immediately kun fayakun, and this Dukhan immediately produced and brought into existence this Earth and the Sun. So this fact is okay, but my mentioning that this Dukhan which was already there 20 minutes ago, that was wrong. Not 20 minutes ago. Allah has made it in three seconds only. Because Dukhan is composed of several atoms like hydrogen, lithium, and some other gases, and also dust. Dust also a part of this smoke. So for making these things, Allah produced them at different temperatures. When there was a big bang, it was too much hot. Then Allah gradually make it so low that hydrogen became possible. Then also He made it further low temperature. Then helium became possible. Then Allah made temperature more lower. Then lithium became possible. So all these three atoms and the dust, for all these purposes, Allah made the temperature which was needed for them. When all these elements gathered, then He combined all of them in the form of a dukhan. And this entire process of collecting all the material, producing all the material and making into a new material called dukhan, and which is called in science nebulae, it all took in 3 seconds, not in 20 minutes. So with this clarification, now I go to the explanation of this verse about the mountain, Wal Jibala Utadan, which is connected with the question, have we not made the mountains? So man is being invited, the reader is being invited to consider how and why Allah has made a mountain. What is His wisdom in doing so? In what way the creation of mountain is beneficial for the humanity or the mankind? Without mountain, our life would have been what kind of problems? If all these things we consider, we realize the blessing of Allah with much intensity, and that intensity also makes our iman and yaqeen more intense. So in these things, this Sheikh Maududi has mentioned 7 things. So I now tell you what are those 7 things which Sheikh Maududi has explained. The first thing which Sheikh Maududi has explained is that these mountains, they are responsible for the changes in the season. We have cold season and hot season. There is summer and winter in different parts of the world and different timings. So in this, one reason for this change of the season is mountain. How earth is moving around mountain. And one more miracle of Allah is that earth, He has made earth a bit with a slope. It is not straight 90 degrees straight or 180 degrees. It is neither 180 degrees, not 90 degrees. It is something, say, about 70 degree or 80 degrees, so slightly a slope. So what are the wisdom of this slope? This wisdom of the slope is that it is responsible for the changes of season and for the changes of day and night. Had it been just by accident, it would not have been a measured slope. It would have been in any form nobody knows. But it has been created in a certain angle. So that angle, that slope is the reason for the changes of day and night. Sun is there shining and giving heat to the earth and all its inhabitants, but earth is moving around the sun. One movement of the earth is around itself. It is in 24 hours is moving around itself. But in 12 months, it moves around the sun. its movement around the sun completes in 12 months. So during these 12 months, there is a season of winter and there is a season of summer. So how it comes? Because there is Earth has been made in a slope, some degree, and it is not straight. So what happens? So some area of the Earth becomes very near to the sun. There are other areas, the downstairs, goes a little far away from the Earth. Where it is far away from the Earth, there the heat of the sun does not reach, and therefore it becomes cold season in that area. And that area which comes due to slope, some area is near the sun, so that area becomes summer. But in the what is called the median, in Urdu we call Khat Istawa, just in the middle of the earth, all countries which are at the median of the earth, they are always hot, they are always near the sun, and there is no winter season as it should be, as in other parts of the world. So it all depends upon the sun and to what angle earth is near or far away from the earth. Depending upon the angle and the distance of that area with the sun, this winter or summer occurs. This is one blessing of one blessing of mountains. That is being mentioned. I am sorry that instead of mentioning the blessing of mountain, I mentioned the blessing of sun. So that verse is also there, Sirajam Vakhaja, about the sun. And here I should have explained more about mountain than about the sun. So anyhow, it has already been explained, so I cannot cancel it. But anyhow, I will continue with the explanation of Maududi that he has mentioned mountain number one as a reason, as a source of change of the seasons. Then the second thing, he is speaking that the mountains are responsible for rains also. In what way rains are connected to the mountain? In what way rain is going to happen if there is a mountain or there is no mountain? It is again a scientific question and it takes a lot of study how it is done or not done. But anyhow, the rain is very necessary for the humanity, and without raining, we cannot have food, we cannot have many vegetables and many things. And the entire world, where it stops raining, they all became into a big calamity. Even Hazrat Umar had to go to take the whole people of the area to some ground, and the entire people prayed to Allah, "Oh Allah, give us rains. Without rain, we are suffering, we have no water, and without water, we don't have vegetable, we don't have fruit, we don't have any food. Anywhere, if there is no rain, all these problems arise." So for this reason, the rains are necessary for human being, a great blessing, but this blessing is not possible without the mountains. So what is the connection between mountains and the rains? It is a very long question and long technical study. So I am not going into that one now. Simply just mention that mountains are one of the reasons for producing rains. This was the second blessing of the mountains which Sheikh Maududi has mentioned while explaining this verse about mountains. The third blessing which Sheikh Maududi has mentioned about the mountains, the blessing of Allah, is about the rivers. That without mountains there would not have been rivers. Usually in the season, cold season, winter season, whatever ice is accumulated on the peaks of the mountains, it goes on accumulating, goes on an entire winter, several months. The ice goes on piling up, piling up, piling up. So because this piled up ice becomes a river. And during the month of summer, that ice starts melting, and with this melting, the rivers start flowing. In case of India, I know that all big rivers, which are called Ganges and Jamna and Brahmaputra, they are running across the India on a big areas, and they are water is supplying water to very big areas of different parts of India. They are all coming from the mountain Himalaya, very big mountain. It is producing very big rivers. So this is the, if you go to the other rivers like Euphrates or Nile, so you will come to know that most of them have started from some mountains. In Pakistan also you have several rivers, but if you go to the origin, you will find that due to some mountains, they all rivers, it produced rivers. This is a great blessing of Allah. So without the creation of mountain, we could not have enjoyed this blessing of Allah. This shows the wisdom of Allah, how He has taken care of our requirement through by creation of mountain. After this, Sheikh Maududi has mentioned as the fourth blessing of Allah due to the mountains is that in the plains which are very immediately after the mountain, the production of vegetable and other things are very much in quantity. You get much and much vegetable and much and too much food and all kind of plants, trees, whatever a human being needs. If the field is near the mountain, then it becomes very fruitful in the sense that it produces more and more and more goods. And the same quantity is not produced if the same thing is much far away from the mountain. Because if it is much far away, it requires rains. It requires what is called rivers. Without the water of the river, the fields which are far away, and they don't get water, and if they don't get water, no vegetable can grow, no food can grow, nothing can be done. But those areas which are just very near to the mountain, in those valleys, that area which are called valleys, those valleys which are near the mountain, in those areas, your food cultivation is multiplied. Whatever vegetable, whatever thing, they are always evergreen because they are always getting water which is coming even without rivers, just flowing from the mountain because of the slope. So because of the slope, they are always getting some water, and that is the reason for the too much production in the valleys. So this is the fourth blessing which Sheikh Maududi has mentioned. And the fifth one, he says, that the big wooden block is possible only mostly on the mountains. Those mountains which are green and produce trees, in those trees you will find big trees, big trunks. Such big trunks are not possible in the areas which are just plain. Mostly the mountains are the proper place for getting the big pieces of wood, very long, big, which can be used as pillars, long and strong, is possible due to mountains. In Japan, most of the houses are being made even today in the villages and other places. Most of the houses are wooden houses. And for those wooden houses, they require pillars. The most of these pillars need to be very tall one, big one. So all these big pillars are possible only from those trees which can be grown on the mountains. This is one great blessing which you find in the mountains. Now after this, Sheikh Maududi has spent a sixth blessing, is that minerals. Most of the minerals like gold or like silver and many others like copper, iron, whatever mineral, most of them are found only in the mountain areas. If there is no mountain, you cannot find these minerals. So this blessing of minerals through which the human society is developing, human culture, civilization. Without this metal, no building could be made. Without this metal, no trains can run, no aeroplane can be built. Nothing can be done. So all these blessings which the humanity is enjoying is because of these minerals, and those minerals are possible just because Allah made mountains. So this wisdom of Allah, blessing of Allah, should be a source for our increasing of Iman. And the last one he has mentioned here is about some valuable stones. For example, these precious stones, all these precious stones are made are available only in mountain areas. In Pakistan, we have mine of emeralds. In Burma, there are mines of ruby and other precious stones. So, like this, most of the precious stones are possible because of the mountains. In addition to precious stones, there is what we call marble. This is a special type of stone, and that is also found on the mountains. And all the beautiful buildings where they are using marble, this is a special blessing from Allah through the mountains. In Pakistan, in the Quetta area, we have a special marble that is called onyx. This is especially beautiful, and in Japan they are imported in big quantity, and in Japanese companies make different tools and also use as the stone for the buildings to make the building very beautiful, and they make very beautiful things from that. So all this is possible because valuable stones are also possible from mountains. These are several blessings of the mountains which Sheikh Maududi has mentioned. And finally, Allah has mentioned for what purpose. Sheikh Maududi has said, has brought the conclusion that this example and this blessings and this wisdom of God has been placed for giving you as a argument for two things, Tawheed and Akhirat. Tawheed, because without a power like Allah, all these mountains would not have been possible, all these blessings would not have been possible, and without these mountains, there would have been no rivers and no rains and many such things, no heat, no cold and summer and winter, many things, no day and night, many things. So now, this cannot be by accident. This should be by an intelligent designer. That should be, that you have to accept the existence of God, and this is the Tawheed, argument for Tawheed. Similarly, for Akhirat also, for the life after death also, he gives this as an argument that a person who has made an authority, who has made this world with so much care and with so much wisdom and blessings and this and that, that big authority, that being will just waste it away for nothing. When it is finished, then there's nothing. No. He will give you a better life, or he will give you punishment if you have done bad things. To this, the existence of mountain, he has put it as an argument even for the life after death. So all this wisdom and greatness of Allah also requires there should be a life after death where those people who have taken full advantage for the service of humanity and those people who have been misusing the resources of Allah and killing people and killing human beings and doing bad things in the world, they should be punished. So this concept of punishment or reward by the creation of mountains and their utility and how they utilize it for the benefit of mankind or to put harm to the mankind or just to killing the human being or some bad ways. So that is also one argument for the life after death. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.